Hey folks, welcome back to the restaurant show. We are joined now by one of my favorite places, Rosie's Coffee Bar and Bakery. This is Coz. You may recognize her. She's our cake and cookie and dessert lady, the expert over here. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
We're so excited to have you. Perfect timing. We're going to cover some holiday items and show you how these are put together and maybe how you can even make them at home. I'm probably going to go by Rosie's and pick up some, but we'll walk you through the process. So, first of all, what bûche de Noël is the technical term for Yule log, and that's what we're going to be making today, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the origin of this dessert? Where did this come from?
Back in the day, in Europe, they used to go to church at midnight, and they didn't have a lot of heaters like we have here, and so they'd have this special Yule log that they would put out into the fireplace, and they would celebrate after they had this midnight church, and they would drink, special drinks and have special food, and then a baker designed a Yule log to look like this traditional Yule log that they used to do back in Europe, and it's a tradition that's just carried over around the world now.
A delicious tradition, I might add.
Yes.
So we're excited. I didn't know the backstory. Thanks for bringing that to us. It's not just the restaurant show, it's history. This is learning, right?
Yes.
So that's wonderful. Now, is this usually done just exclusively at Christmas, or what's your feeling on that?
Mostly I've seen it done at Christmas time, although one time I did a spring one and had little spring fairies and stuff, and it was really cute. But usually it's a Christmas tradition.
But it's all in the decor, right? You can utilize it throughout the year. Okay, well, kind of talk us through, is it time consuming to do this for starters?
Yeah, so I did some steps ahead for time's sake. So the first thing I did was I made my my sponge, and this is also naturally gluten-free. There's no flour in this.
Okay.
And there's no butter either. It's just like an egg white and egg yolk and the sugar, and you kind of fold it all together and you get this sponge. So what you do is the minute it comes out of like a jelly roll pan, you flip it out and you flip it onto your paper and then roll it up immediately. And you let it cool in this rolled position.
Oh, neat. So it comes out flat, and then you take a piece of paper and you roll it up.
Yep. And now we're going to fill it. And this is, you can fill it with any sort of filling that you'd like. This is our Italian meringue buttercream.
Okay.
And
Sounds good.
You can flavor this up. Last year I did one for, it was a baby reveal, and they didn't know what they were having, but I put some raspberry in the middle because their doctor called and told me, so they had a reveal Yule log. I thought that was really cool.
I love that. That's such a cute idea. A little different from the traditional cake reveal. That's so fun. Now you said this is, what is it called? A what meringue?
It says Italian meringue buttercream, so it's a European style frosting because we're keeping it pretty European for this. And you need a candy thermometer to make it. It's sort of like less sweet and more whipped creamy than the traditional like American frosting, which is more butter, powdered sugar.
And pardon my question if it's a little basic, but what's meringue? Is that?
Oh, it's like egg white.
Okay.
And so basically you whip up egg whites, and then you have your sugar and water going over a stove, and you get it to what's called softball, and you have your candy thermometer, and then you add it into the egg whites, and it whips for minutes and minutes and minutes until everything cools down. That cooks your eggs by doing that.
Got it.
And then you add the butter. And the butter has to be just the right temperature. So it is a little bit touchy. Now that I know how to do it, it's pretty easy to do. But it was frustrating to learn at first.
Sounds like, it sounds like a lot of steps, and for a baker who loves doing things like that, it's probably fun once you get it down.
Oh yeah, it's easy now.
Yeah, so I'll be picking mine up. But no, it's just easy. So now, to that same point, are you actually going to be making these and selling these at Rosie's?
We sure are. We're right now selling them for $38.99, and you can order ahead. I think that's a really good value.
I think that's great. Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt, but go ahead and keep going.
We're going to roll it up now.
And I just think it's a cool thing when you're going to like a holiday party, rather than bringing like something, I don't know, cookies. You get a lot of cookies. How neat would it be to bring a Yule log? And now you know the backstory, so you have your conversation piece as you go in.
And sometimes when you roll them up, they might crack.
Okay.
And it's okay if it cracks because you're gonna frost it, and then the frosting, covers your imperfections. So now we're gonna cut it into the log.
Okay.
So we're just gonna kind of cut it at an angle here.
Oh, you do an angle? Okay.
And then I'm gonna do an angle here, just to give it like a little cut.
I suppose logs aren't perfect, so you want them a little bit different. A little bit imperfect, right?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna put a little frosting right here on the board, just for it to stick. And then we're going to put it on here.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then we're going to do the branch. So we're going to cut again.
Is that a baker's tip, putting that frosting down?
Yeah.
Kind of
just
helps
so
things
it
stay in
doesn't
place
slide
as you're
around. Yeah.
transporting it.
Exactly. And then, you know, usually you put this in the refrigerator to just kind of set up, and then that's going to have it really set up good.
Oh, that's so
And now
cool.
this is the ganache, so it's equal parts by weight of cream and chocolate.
Okay, and who doesn't like saying ganache, by the way? I mean, that's a great word.
Doesn't it sound like a European word?
It does, yes.
Yeah, for our Bush Noel.
Perfect, on track for our European dish, okay.
Yes, and so we're going to...
Are you impressed at home, by the way, at how fast she's doing this? This is somebody who is an experienced baker at work over here.
Yeah, yeah, you get...
Your speed is impressing me.
Well,
I would have dropped 6 things on the floor by now, too, if this were me.
Well, you know, it's been a lot of practice. Some of the first cakes that I did, oh my gosh, they're so bad. I would have never in a million years ever dreamed that anyone would have me hired as a professional baker, much less own my own bakery. But you know what? What's that saying? Passion can take you very far.
It certainly
I
can.
just enjoyed doing it, and I just kept practicing. And yeah, for me, it's really easy now.
Isn't that funny? Well, you do such a great job. I love these guys. They do lunch and breakfast and just really outstanding food, too. I just want to mention Christmas cookies quick, because we're talking Yule log, but they do everything. They do Christmas cookies. You guys do a lot of these, actually, don't you?
Yeah. Yep. I've been in there some mornings till 3 in the morning with my helper, Ashley, and we are just making cookies. We hand roll all of our cookies out, the decorated ones, and we're decorating them, and we make the doughs from scratch, the glazes from scratch. They're all hand decorated. People are getting them for like corporate gifts and just for your, you know, for your holidays.
Right. They're just beautiful, and everything is done. This is a scratch bakery. These guys are really impressive over there. I have used them now many times and always just been delightful with the look, and the taste is always fabulous. So the best of both worlds.
On top.
And if you are a big coffee lover, these guys have outstanding coffee. We don't have time to cover that today, but I wanted to mention that before we go. So head over to Rosies on Monona Drive. You'll see Miss Coz and her fantastic team. And join us for more restaurant show right after the break. Stick around. Thank you so much for joining us for the restaurant show today. I had so much fun checking out all these great local places. I'm Jessa Jeremiah, reminding you that life is too short to eat average.
This episode of The Restaurant Show brought to you by AccuClimb Mechanical Services.